So I gave up on Facebook Live and Zoom. So I'm just gonna do a video and post the video. Cool. Okay. All right. So this is what we're making. Right, and not too difficult. Right, we're just gonna start by taking the red, mixing a little of the yellow in. Doesn't have to be an exact orange or the color that you want your pumpkins to be. Just something essentially to do the outline. Okay, so make sure you can see from here. You're just gonna start and sort of make half a heart up there, another here, sort of come down halfway, just like that. Make sure you can see. Then down here, I'm gonna make a little frowny face, just like that, and sort of overlap. Like this. Okay. And then you can really customize your pumpkins however you want. Like I said, we're just starting with the outline. So I'm just gonna lift up my phone so that you can see how it's supposed to look thus far. Okay. Like I said, 2 frowny faces here. Frowny face there and a big frowny face there. Okay, now that we have that, using the same brush, you are going to outline where your pumpkin stalk would be. So just like this. Right, just like that. Like I said, it can really be however you want your pumpkin to be, whether that's big, small, skinny stalk, fat stalk. We don't discriminate with the stalks. Okay, and when you do that, you're just sort of making 2 lines that sort of curve and go into one another. Looks really silly right now, but we're gonna fill everything in and it'll look good. Okay, so there's that. So now what you wanna do is you want to take some of your yellow and just sort of mix that with more of your red. And you're gonna wanna make 3 different shades of yellow. Any color yellow that you like, that's what you can do. Just like that. And this should only take you maybe 30 seconds or so. Like I said, it's really up to you. You can kind of customize how you want it to look, right? And what I like to do is, make sure you can see, just like to take my brush and sort of come up about maybe halfway from the bottom of that first stalk, just like that. And then we're gonna create another line here, another line here, another line here. This just sort of helps to create some dimension to your pumpkin, and it'll make it easier when you go to actually fill it in too. Okay. And we're gonna wanna do that for all 3 of them. Like I said, just about halfway from your stalk, and then you'll do your lines just like that. Honestly, if you don't like the way you did your line, you don't have to stress, because we're gonna fill this in. So anything that you don't like, you can honestly just paint right over it. Okay, we do the last one, just like this. Right, perfect. I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer, just so you can see what I have done thus far. Just like that. Okay. that. Now, using the 3 orange shades that you made about a minute or so ago, just want to start by fully coating one of your brushes with one of the colors. You don't have to do this, but something that I found just to make the pumpkin look more realistic is with my brush, with the orange on my brush, just slightly dab the corner in yellow, and then I'll show you a neat trick. When you go to paint on the pumpkin, it'll actually do most of the work for you. The brush will. It'll be like a blended look. So way to make it easy, just starting at the base of your stalk and then going down just like that, and then coming back up. Just to show you what I meant by blending, if you can see that, see how the yellow sort of meets the orange, meets the red? Super easy, super fun. All right, so you're just gonna repeat that for the remainder of that first pumpkin. Again, don't take it too seriously. You're gonna paint like the white details and things like that a little later on. So if it's not the exact color that you want, you don't need to stress, because honestly, you can do it however you want. And I mean, really, even up to like the last few seconds, you can customize it. So don't stress. All right, just gonna very quickly run through my pumpkin here. Mommy? Yeah, Jude? Yeah, hold on. Mommy's doing a video. You're not wearing a shirt.
Wow. I hope.
Hold on, you're not wearing a shirt. They're gonna see your boobies. Go put a shirt on, you can come, okay? Alright, love you. Okay, like I said, we are just filling in that first pumpkin. Okay, so there's that. I don't know if you can see, but my palette is pretty messy, and I did happen to accidentally get some green here. Not even gonna stress about it. It's a happy little accident. We're gonna actually go over that with some white in a little bit. So like I said, don't stress, it's just for fun. Okay, so now that we've done the first pumpkin, I would suggest for the kids that you do all 3 pumpkins prior to beginning your stalks. Adults, if you paint regularly or you're a little more advanced, you can certainly start on the stalks, but for the kids, I definitely recommend doing all of the orange for the pumpkins first, just because if not, it will tend to get a little mucky and blend together. Okay, so since I am doing this for the kids, I'm just gonna demonstrate just painting in the rest of the pumpkins really quickly here, while keeping in mind these stalks that we've sort of already placed. I just want to be a little mindful about not sort of painting over that, because it's sort of like a placer, you know, for doing your stalks. You'll notice I am painting rather quickly. Like I said, we are going to do other layers of paint to these pumpkins, so I'm honestly not too worried about the orange and like the different shades that I get. by the way, you can totally feel free to paint the sides of your canvas if you want to. I never do. I know that's frowned upon by some people. They always paint the side of it, like if you hang it up. I don't know. Just not really a fan personally of doing the side. Alright, so there's the second pumpkin. Right, here's our third. By the way, I'm doing orange for all three of my pumpkins. Totally feel free to do white, you can do green, you can make it more of like a gourd color, whatever you want to do. For those that tried to join the Facebook Live in like that weird room and like Zoom, I do apologize. I've done a few paint nights in the past for like various fundraisers and things of that nature, and they're all in person. I'm not the most technologically advanced person, so I do apologize for those that were trying to make the effort to join the rooms and the live and all that good stuff. Once COVID ends, we'll do something in person. Something normal. Okay. All right, enough of my rambling. Okay, so when you are done painting your pumpkins, it should look something like this. Right? And now we are going to begin doing some of the details. So, like I said, you need to have red, yellow, blue, 3 primary colors, and then in addition you needed to have white and black, just to make it a little bit easier for the details. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my brush and actually dip it in some of the white, and what I'm going to do, starting at the base of the stem, is just make a few little lines going down my pumpkin, just to show where the light is hitting the pumpkin to create some depth. This doesn't have to be exact. This is an art class. You don't have to go too in depth and try to imagine it coming from an angle or anything like that. Honestly, just wherever you feel as though it would look good, you can do so. And you're going to go ahead and do that for all 3. My adults that are doing this, feel free to sort of use your artistic liberty and add more details. You don't have to do it exactly like how I'm doing it. I'm just trying to do something simple for the kids. And this should honestly only take you about a minute or so. If it blends with your orange, that's even better. Okay, when you're done, it should look something like this. Like that, okay. And now we are going to start on the stalks. What you're gonna do, same brush, you are going to take some of that blue, and I'm sure you're probably already guessed where I'm going with this. You're going to mix some of that yellow, and we are making green. If you already have green paint, please feel free to use it, but I do try to make this as cost effective as possible, and part of that is using the 3 primary colors to make all the other colors. So it's green. And what you're going to do is right at the base of the stalk that we created, you're going to take your brush and make this motion. Make sure you can see my hand. Sort of wiggling the brush back and forth, allowing it to blend slightly with the white details. And let me see if I can hold this while I'm doing it. It's perfectly fine if you're a little rough with the canvas, because you do want that to blend. Obviously don't poke a hole through it, but you know. Okay, like that. Take my green, we're gonna do that up here. Same thing applies if you don't like how that came out or you feel as though it's too dark. Not to worry, we're gonna do additional layers to this painting and you can just paint right over it. Nothing is sort of unfixable when it comes to paintings like this. Okay, now that we have that and sort of see how that's looking, we are gonna start on the stalk itself. And this, in my opinion, is the fun part because you can make your stalk as fat, as skinny, as tall, as short as you want. Okay. For this pumpkin at the bottom, I think I'm gonna do a really curly stalk. Okay. Oh, watch out, Lindsay. Okay. Like I was saying, I think I'm gonna do a really curly stalk and just sort of let my imagination go wild. All right, so there's our curly stalk. When you're doing your stalk, you're honestly just gonna go up in like sort of a curved line from that stalk that we initially painted, and you're just gonna let your brush sort of carry itself about halfway and then let it blend in. I'm gonna bring this up close so that you can see. So, say you go up like this, you'll let your brush come up and then sort of dissipate into that line there. And then from that point, you're just gonna take your brush with the green and we're just gonna fill it in, just like that. Just the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist. Just like that. And just fill it in. I like taking a little bit of the white and just sort of adding some additional detail, just like that, like so. Totally not mandatory. Kids, feel free just to paint it in green. Adults or my experienced painters, feel free to add as much or as little detail as you would like. Okay, like that. With that being said, if you want to add some dark green into your stalk, again, to add some additional detail, definitely feel free to do so. Okay, just like that. Now, you can choose to either finish all 3 stalks prior to doing the leaves and the vines, or if you're someone that finds it easier to sort of do one and then work from that idea to do the others, you can certainly do that as well. I think I might do the vines and the leaves now just to sort of show you how it's done, and then we'll finish the other 2. It's not too hard, as you can see. There's that. Okay, so for the leaf, we are gonna do a line here, almost like a little frowny. I'm gonna come back in with some more paint, and we're gonna do a smiley to meet the frown, just like that. Okay, should kind of look like a silly lemon. There's that. And we are just gonna fill that in. A little trick to painting your leaves and making them look a little more realistic is the trick I showed you earlier, where you coat your brush with 2 different colors on either side of the brush and sort of let it blend on its own. That helps to create some depth for the leaf without you having to do too much brush work. All right, we're just gonna add some white detail there. All right, just like that. Okay, and you can add as many or as little leaves that you would like. Certainly don't feel obligated to do a whole bunch if you prefer a more simple pumpkin. All right, so the little curly that we created up here on our stalk, I'm just gonna take my brush and go right at the end and bring that down into a loop-de-loop. Just like that, just like it's some curly fries. All right, there's that. Like I said, certainly don't feel obligated to make it as detailed if you prefer something a little more simple. And a little bit of white paint on your vine goes a long way in adding depth and making it a little more realistic. I'm using a lot of green and white, but please by all means feel free to use yellow if you would like in your leaves. Darker green, lighter green, like I said, you can sort of customize it however you'd like. So that's the first pumpkin. You're gonna repeat for the other 2. So nothing too intricate, and then we will start on the background. So you can see. Like that, like so. Also, if you had initially made your stalk and you find out like it might be a little too fat, maybe a little too skinny, don't feel obligated to keep that, because when we do the background, you can just paint right over it. So don't feel like you're stuck with anything. Again, thank you for those that tried joining like that weird, sketchy Facebook room. Not sure why it was doing that. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab some more yellow paint on gabbing here. Really weird, really sketchy. Do not recommend. Did not do that purposely. So again, thank you for trying to join. But for my folks that were talking about doing this on like Saturday, when they have some downtime, things like that, I certainly hope that this video is helpful in that regard. I'm gonna add some yellow details here, just because I am finding that I am using a plethora of like sage green, which I do love, and white, but I don't want it to get too sort of like murky looking. But again, customize it however your little heart desires. Whatever you think looks good, absolutely feel free to do so. Okay, let's see. And I'm just going in and adding my vines like that. By the way, if anyone has any questions, or they get stuck, or they don't understand to do something after I post this video, please feel free to message me or text me. I'll be happy to help. Like I said, it's a little different doing this virtually as opposed to in person where I can walk around and help people. But you know, figured something different, something fun for the kids to do. So what I'm doing right now is I am just adding some leaves to my pumpkin up here and finishing the stalk. And this one, I think we might have it sort of go off the side of the canvas. So I'm gonna trail off the side. This painting itself, like I said, I know I kind of keep reiterating that you can customize it. This one's even different from the initial one that I made to like show folks what we were making. So it just goes to show that you really can do this a multitude of ways. All right, add some yellow here. I am going rather quick just so I'm not making like an hour-long video. Obviously, when you're doing this on your own time, definitely feel free to take your time, add more details, add less details. Right, there's that. Okay, so there's that. And I think for this pumpkin over here, we are just gonna go all out and be super bougie and make this like super long, crazy, fancy schmancy vine. Just like that. For the kids that are doing this, how I am doing the vine is I am essentially going down and pretending like I am making a big swirly spaghetti noodle. Or maybe you want to imagine it as a snake. A slithering snake. Just like that. Okay. So, there's that. Instead, feel free to take more time on yours, but for time's sake, I am doing it rather quickly and limiting my detail. Okay, so that's what we have thus far. Right, and we are gonna start on the background. If you have a second brush that is slightly larger, great. If not, feel free to use any size that you might have. It's just gonna take you a little bit longer, but like I said, not a big deal. This part essentially is rather simple. We are just filling in this white space with our blue. I am fortunate enough to have a bigger brush, so I'm just gonna wipe off some of that orange, just like that. And I'm just gonna go back and forth. It does not have to be super pretty because we are gonna go over this with our Starry Night details. So, like I said, if you can see, I am essentially just going back and forth like this, just letting the brush coat the canvas ever so slightly. Not too much pressure, just sort of letting the brush do the work for you. Right. Around our vines, you're gonna want to be a little more careful, just so you don't paint over them. But again, if you do, not a big deal. Honestly, you can just paint right back over that. Just like that. Like this. I made a lot of twirly vines, so mine's a little more intricate in filling in that background. but I feel like it's easier to do the vines first as opposed to this dark background and then the vines, because it stands out more. Right, there's that. As you can see, I did accidentally go over one of those leaves ever so slightly, but am I going to stress about it? Absolutely not, because I'm going to show you a trick in a couple minutes to fix that. Right, I'm just filling this in. Like I said, nothing too fancy. Just like that. All right, and then we're gonna come up and we're just gonna keep doing this background here. Nothing to it. Right, I found it easy if when doing the background, you take the corner of your brush and sort of make an outline first, just so you can sort of paint around the perimeter of that outline and very quickly fill it in. The whole process should take you maybe 5 minutes tops. And that's if you're being really careful. Okay. Like I said, we are not making it perfect because we're gonna do a background right over top of it. Just like that. See, not perfect. Doesn't have to be, totally fun. Okay, there's that. Now, after we do that, we are going to take our white, just like so. Okay. You don't have to use a lot. I try to be a little more conservative when it comes to the paint. So like I said, you don't really need too much. And in doing this, you don't even have to wait for the blue to dry. Honestly, the more blended it looks, the better. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and we're gonna make our moon. Moon does not have to be perfect because we are gonna put a tiny load of details around this. Right? I don't know if you can see that. Our moon up in the top corner, above that third pumpkin. Okay, so while that is going, up here in the top corner, it would be my left. I'm just gonna take my brush and start to make small details, just like this. And I'm actually gonna grab my phone and bring it a little bit closer so that you can see what exactly it is that I'm doing with my brush. Bear with me for 1 moment, and I'll grab that. Winter, what are you doing? What are you doing, baby? What's up? Check me. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I had to also grab my phone charger because I'm irresponsible. Okay, there's that. Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay, so the white paint details, you can see my canvas, brush like so, not too much, just a little bit, not a lot, big girl, just a little bit. And we're gonna come down here like this. As you can see, I'm just going like this. It's similar to the brush strokes that we were using when doing the base of the pumpkin stalk. Okay, just like that. Just a quick little flick of the wrist. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Don't stress. Just like that. And we're just sort of coming down from that top corner with our white. If it blends into the blue, good, perfect. That's what you want. Because if you have ever seen the Starry Night painting, it does have details of like a lighter blue, a white, and a yellow in the sky. Right? If you look here, I'm now taking my brush, I'm using the same style brush strokes. I am creating a little swirl up here in the sky. My kids that are doing this, if you want to literally take your brush and just go like this and make a swirl instead of doing these little intricate motions with your brush, please feel free to do so. This is supposed to be fun. Don't get stressed out. And as you can see, you can honestly like just make any pattern that you want. It doesn't have to look like the original. Obviously, I'm not painting the original, so don't stress. Okay, so we're swirling just like that. You get the gist of it. Okay, now, important part. After we do these details, like that, like so, then we're gonna start working on the details around our moon. Now you may be wondering why I had you do the moon in white to begin with, as opposed to just immediately painting it yellow. And the reason for that is because I am super smart. No, reason for that is because when we paint it yellow, if it's already a white base, it's gonna stand out more on the blue background than it would if we just painted just straight up yellow on the blue. Okay, so if you can kind of see what I've got going on thus far, like that. Now I'm going to come over here, and in the corner I'm gonna make more of those dramatic lines. Again, my kids that are doing this, don't get so hung up about making your lines perfect. They can be as long, as short, as wide, as thin as you want them to be. And honestly, if you don't even want to do the Starry Night sky for your background, you don't even have to do that. You could honestly do like some clouds, maybe some stars, whatever you want to do, however you want to make your painting. Okay, so you should have that thus far. And now with the same brush, with the white still on it, don't worry about cleaning it off. Just gonna dip it right in the yellow, and we're gonna come up here, and we're just gonna go in between all of those blue and white details, and we're gonna add some yellow. Same style of brush strokes, like that. Again, if it is blending in with the blue, who cares? It's fine. The more it blends, the better, honestly. Okay, there's that. I'm just sort of adding my detail in around this swirl. Okay, I'm gonna sort of do the swirl around my moon more heavily with the yellow as opposed to the white details that I was doing for the rest of the painting, just because it is the moon. And in the original painting, if you've ever seen it, it's more yellow than it is white. It does have sort of a yellow glowy ambiance to it in the painting. Okay, perfect, just like that, like so. And sort of add some details here in the middle of the yellow. yellow, just like that. Okay, and on our moon, we are going to paint right over the white and make it yellow. I like to personally take some of that leftover orange that we use for our pumpkin and add some of it onto the moon as some detail. Don't have to do it if you don't want to. I honestly just thought it looked a little snazzy. But like I said, however you want to customize this painting, however it makes you happy, that's how you should do it. Painting should definitely make you happy. Should never make you stressed. Look, like as you can see, I add a little too much orange. Not even gonna worry about it. We're just gonna come over it with some yellow. Just like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope no one is getting queasy watching this. I am accidentally moving my hand a little bit more than I probably should. Okay, so there's that. See? Yeah, bud. Yeah, come on in. Alright, so you have that.
You need another one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm teaching kids how to paint it. Okay, so the last little details of the painting. We are gonna do the stars in the sky, hence the painting. Gee, what are you doing? Starry Night. Okay, so we're gonna take our brush with yellow at the end, like so, and we are just gonna dot it 1 and 2. Honestly, you can place these wherever you want. 3. And maybe we'll put another one maybe here. Just like that. And then you're gonna do the same details that you did for the rest of the sky all around your dot to sort of show the glow of the star. What are you doing?
Just playing.
Okay. I love you.
And me too.
You little stink.
You stick.
You little stinky foot. Alright, so doesn't have to be perfect. Back up, bud. We are just going like that. Okay, so after you've done that, if you want to go back in and add some more details to your pumpkin, you can definitely do that now that it has dried a little bit. Like if you look down here, I am a goofy goober and I did not finish painting the side. Whoopsie. So we're just gonna go down here and cover that up. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Maybe add some more yellow if that's your thing. Or if you want to be super fancy, you can go in and add some green to your pumpkin. You know, make it a little fancy. Okay, just like that. Anyway, I'm sorry, I was getting carried away. Got a little too excited. Alright, so I'm adding some more yellow. Maybe add some to your vine, you know, a little fancy. Do whatever you want. Maybe your kid wants to make really weird noises in the background. Maybe it sounds like he's getting his leg ripped off, which he is not CPS. Okay, there's that. There's that. Super cool, super fun. Now, with your black, you honestly only need a tiny, tiny little bit. You are gonna go in and in the spots in which we have not added the white and yellow detail in the sky, we're just gonna take our brush and we're gonna go like this. Just like that, make small little lines. Just like that. And if you feel as though you might have made it too thick or too heavy, do not stress. I repeat, do not stress. Because you can just go grab some glue and go right over that stuff just like that. And no one has to know that you had a little happy accident right there in your sky. Okay. Like I said, you can go full on Bob Ross with this painting if you want. Make some happy little vines. Or you can keep it simple and not do as many and not do as much detail in the sky. It's whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your skill level is, etc. Okay. So there you have it. Like I said, if you had a little more time, I took about an hour and 15 minutes doing this one, just because I wanted to add a little more detail to show you what you could do with this painting. This one, we've been doing this video for about 45 minutes thus far. As you can see, it's quite similar to this one, with the exception that I am missing some of the red detail, and some of the detail in the vine. Again, for time purpose,